So this is just a quick video on how to maintain your open reel, as I, you know, far too often get open reels in and, the heads just have stuff caked on it. And, the customer's complaining that, oh, it's not recording properly, or there's a channel that's dead, or sounds muffled, and there's low output on one of the channels, or both, or it's not erasing properly. And most of the time, it's because the heads are dirty. And I just want to show the way to keep your machine appropriately cleaned, keep things lubricated, so that they run smoothly and your machine lasts as long as it can until there's necessary maintenance that has to be done behind the scenes. A common problem with this series of TIAC decks, including the 3300, the 2300, I've even seen it on the 6100, and even on the 4010 and the 6010, the oil and grease they used actually becomes hard, it dries up, and this pinch roller mechanism will not engage. As you can see, this is how it's supposed to engage. It should be fast and responsive. When I got this deck, it actually was very sluggish. So obviously that's something that you either learn to do yourself, where you can disassemble the mechanism behind the chassis, or you can take it to someone that knows what they're doing, and has experience with it. And it doesn't take too long to do, but it will avoid you, a lot of headaches trying to figure out why it's not engaging. It's better just to bring it to somebody to take the mechanism apart, add new grease, new oil, and put it back together, and it should operate like that. But for stuff that you can do yourself, just with a few items, to keep the machine running smoothly. So you'll need, this is 99% isopropyl alcohol. You can use, this is 3-in-1 electric motor oil. You can use this, or you can use lightweight motor oil as well. You need Q-tips, or cotton swabs, whatever you want to call them, and paper towel. So the first thing we're going to look at is the pinch roller. Now the pinch roller needs to spin freely. You don't want the pinch roller to be giving a hard time, because it's already being pressed with quite an amount of force on up against the capstan when it engages. So one thing you want to look out for is this nylon washer here. Now you don't want to lose this, because they're not exactly the most easy thing to find for your tape deck, and it does make a difference in spacing out the pinch roller from either side. So once you take the pinch roller off, you can take Scott towel, and you can put a little bit of alcohol on it, and just give the shaft a nice wipe and remove any old oil, so that you can apply fresh oil. Now what you might also want to do is take one of the Q-tips, apply some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol to that as well, and just go inside the sintered bearing here and make sure it's clean. You can see some stuff came off there. Okay, then you want to take your oil and apply a couple drops to the shaft here. And these flux dispensing bottles, you can get them at on Amazon or at electronics shops, and they're meant for dispensing flux, but they're great for oil and rubbing alcohol and the like. And then you just slip your pinch roller on again. See how freely how freely that spins, and then you can put the cap back on. Now how your pinch roller comes off varies depending on the unit. And Akai's sometimes have, this is just decorative, and when you pull it off, there's a nut that actually has to, a bolt that has to unscrew after. Now the other thing you want to do is keep the heads and the tape path clean. So I'm going to just go ahead and remove the cover for the head block here. And I have thumb screws on this head block. Oh, I put it on all my head blocks. These are just thumb screws. And they're just great because you don't need a screwdriver to remove the head block when you want to clean stuff. Just go ahead and remove the head block cover. So now you can see these are your heads. You have the erase, record, and repro or play. You want to make sure you keep these clean so that they can operate at the best they can. So you put a little bit of alcohol, just moist, and then you go and you rub in the direction that the tape travels, so horizontally, to get off any stuff that's shedded off onto the heads. And you can see I keep this machine fairly clean, and I don't run a large amount of old tape on it, so the heads stay fairly clean. You want to use 1 Q-tip per head or a cotton swab. Since it's freely clean, I'm just going to use the other end of this to clean the playback head. And you just want to give that a clean as well. And also the erase head. You want to make sure that's clean so it erases properly. You can use the same Q-tip and just go in and clean the tape lifters here. These are what actually let the tape touch the heads. As you can see, when I raise the pinch roller up, they go up as well. And that's just so you can fast forward, you're not hearing like squirrel, like chipmunk sounds when you're fast forwarding through the tape. Then another thing you might want to do is clean the tension arms. Just clean them, get rid of any crap that's on them. And the impedance roller here. Some tape decks have a bearing here. This one doesn't. You can clean the outside of the bearing if you've used a really shitty tape that's left marks on it, or if you're cleaning a new machine you just got. The other thing you want to do is keep the capstan clean. So you want to engage it. In this case, the capstan doesn't run unless the shutoff lever, take-up arm here, is tension arm is up. So I'm going to hold it up with my hand, and I'm just going to run the cotton swab up and down and get any crusty stuff that's accumulated on it. And you can see there's some stuff that's gotten on there. And that's it. Now you can put your head block back on. You can put the screws or the thumb screws back on, however your head is affixed. And you are ready to roll again. And you want to do this, every so often. You don't have to do it every day. Back in the day in studios, they would clean the heads regularly because, sometimes you only have one shot at getting a take. So you want to make sure there's absolutely no chance of anything getting on there. This one's a little bit stubborn. There we go. But if you're using older tape, you want to clean it more often. Obviously, do something to keep an eye on. If you see it building up, then yeah, you want to clean it. If you're doing a lot of recording, home recording, as I do with this machine, you want to clean it every time you use it. That way there's no chance of anything getting lodged on the head and ruining a potentially good take. And that's how you maintain your machine.